Pentagon seeks $200 billion in additional funds for the Iran war. Straight answer, no spin. No, Congress has not approved $200 billion for Trump war. What's happening right now is this. 1. The Pentagon is asking for about $200 billion in additional funding. Democrats are opposing or skeptical, some are saying. The cost is too high, there's no clear plan, domestic needs are being ignored. This is not a rubber stamp situation. 3. The war itself is in a gray legal area.
War, an unlawful war against Iran, spirals out of control. Today, Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth said we're going to need $200 billion more in order to fight this war, and they want Congress to authorize the $200 billion more for this war, despite the fact that Congress has not even authorized this war in the first place. This, as the entire Gulf is now engulfed in a massive war, and let's just face it, the tentacles of this war have spread throughout the entire world, and never before has the United States, I say this sadly as a patriotic American, never have we looked weaker. You want to talk about escalation dominance? 48 hours ago, Donald Trump and Netanyahu hit the South Pars energy facility in Iran. And yes, Donald Trump was involved in it, despite him saying, no, it was just Netanyahu who did it. And Iran said, okay, well, you hit our South Pars, we're going to hit the northern LNG, liquefied natural gas facilities of Qatar, which provide 20% of the LNG to the entire world, and we're going to hit Riyadh. And within 12 hours, Iran, true to its promise, hit those facilities, and now they are likely damaged for the next 3 to 5 years. So even if we were to stop immediately, like today, which it's not going to, the long-term effects of this are going to be absolutely devastating. And folks, we're not just talking about Iran shutting down the Strait of Hormuz, and Iran hitting the neighboring facilities after its facilities were struck. I mean, we're also talking about fertilizers. We're also talking about helium. We're also talking about the tourism sector in the Middle East. Then there's a cascading domino effect. What about all these Middle East countries that would invest in startups here in the United States and put their money into private equity companies and purchase things in America? Do you think they're going to do that? And then after Iran retaliated following Donald Trump's strike and Ben Netanyahu's strike on their South Pars facility, Donald Trump makes this social media post and he's like, I had nothing to do with it. Striking Qatar.
Do you estimate the likelihood of the regime's falling?
I do not believe the regime will fall in the near future. Now, understand, war is fundamentally unpredictable. Fundamentally, that is part of war. So what I'm saying could be completely reversed in 24 hours, but I think it is very unlikely that that regime will fall anytime soon. I think we're going to have to deal with it. So how do you deal with it? I'd suggest that America has got some of the greatest strengths, our economy, our education system. We have ways of engaging with the world no other country has. And yes, we need a very strong military to defend this idea of a democracy. But at the same time, if we don't use all of our strengths, and there I would point to allies, without them we're not going to get there.
You say in your memoir, nations with allies thrive, those without them die. Whether we like it or not, we are part of a world that needs allies. And yet, President Trump has said, we don't need anybody, we're the strongest nation in the world. So can the United States succeed in this war without allies, other than Israel?
No.
Biggest concerns from our allies right now?
Well, there are many of the same concerns that we hear from our fellow citizens. America is becoming predatory. America is unreliable. They say one thing and they change 7 days later or 2 days later. So there's a sense that we are not a reliable security partner right now. The first time NATO went to war was after we were attacked. And one of the countries that lost as many boys per capita fighting alongside us after America was attacked on 9/11 was Denmark. And Denmark is, of course, the country that owns Greenland. So when you think of a threat against a NATO ally, or when you hear that we're putting tariffs on allies at the same time we're demanding they increase their defense expenditures, which requires a robust economy, you're seeing a strategic disconnect. And right now, many of the actions we're taking, unfortunately, mean that we're working against our own strategic outcome at the end. And you can't bring allies on board if they don't trust you. We're going to have to deal with this threat by this aberrant, bizarre, murderous regime in Tehran, and we're going to do it at the end of the day with allies, lots of allies.
If we are going to deal with the regime that is in place and we are not going to do it without our allies, is there a method or a mechanism for trust rebuilding? Is there a path forward?
Yeah, and you go to the heart of it right there. There's a saying about trust. It departs on a horse at a gallop. It comes back at a very slow walk. And I get the sense it's going to take us 8 to 12 years to restore the levels of trust that the allies believe that we are once again someone they can count on. We've treated them poorly, and I think it's going to take a while to recover. But it's going to be by giving our word on something and living up to it, and going back to a strategic approach. And a good strategy is an appetite suppressant to war. It is not an appetite increasing tool, because you don't go off and do silly things if you've got a strategy, because it sets priorities, and you don't do something, for example, reopen Russian oil, take sanctions off Russian oil, because that's a key problem for Europe right now. You don't do certain things that end up actually causing you more problems down the road. So we're going to have to get back to thinking strategically and giving our word and living up to it.
You mentioned these actions.
Well, China is benefiting from a lot of this, and Russia is benefiting militarily because weapons that could have been given to Ukraine are not being given. They're being used in other places, that sort of thing. Economically, Russia is benefiting. So right now,